in Kentucky, there was a debate that happened last night. I know people miss it because everyone's trying not to die from the pandemic and trying to pay bills. But in Kentucky, you know who's in Kentucky? Turtle Man, Mitch McConnell. He's in Kentucky. He's running against ex-Air Force fighter pilot. Hopefully he can fly in and blow him away, hopefully. I mean, it's a long shot, but we'll see. But an alarming event happened during the debate last night. I'm not even going to show the video. It might play automatically, but it's kind of weird that this man think this is funny. So pretty much right now, I'm using a new computer right now that's like asking for man permissions, and I can't share anything. It's not letting me share nothing. Like, I'm trying to share my screen. It's not even allowing me to share my screen. So that's kind of bad. So I'm not sure what we can do about that. But what we can do is cut to the video. It just talks about what happened in the debate between Mitch McConnell and Kathy. If Phil can drop that video real quick.
Senate Judiciary Committee began confirmation hearings for Supreme Court Justice nominee Amy Coney Barrett. And this is on the minds of many people, and as it turns out, many UK students when we asked them to. And so one of the students asked, should the confirmation hearings be happening this close to an election when early voting is already underway? Lieutenant Colonel McGrath.
No, that's the short answer. Nobody should be voting on a Supreme Court nominee right now. Look, 4 years ago, Senator McConnell said by the McConnell rule during an election year, we don't vote on a nominee. Let the people decide. Well, right now, with 22 days to an election, we should let the people decide. And what's really important is that we should be focusing on aid for Kentucky, as we just talked about, and not a Supreme Court nominee. But let's be clear about what this is all about. Senator McConnell, for a decade, tried to undermine and get rid of the Affordable Care Act legislatively. He could not do it. So now he is trying to do it in the courts. The first case that the Supreme Court's going to hear after the election is going to be about the Affordable Care Act. And that is something that we really cannot have in Kentucky, because the Affordable Care Act did a lot of good for many, many Kentuckians. And so I don't want to throw it away. I want to fix it.
Time's up. Senator McConnell.
Yeah, no extraordinary nominee who's before the Senate. An outstanding woman, an accomplished scholar.
I've never even heard this guy speak before. He sounds terrible.
Marvelous. Seven
and how
children, two of them adopted.
His face looks terrible when he talks.
An absolute legal all-star. And so in the Judiciary Committee, you saw today, they want to talk about anything other than the nominee. This is
who's voting for this man? Colonel Sanders?
Most progressive person in Kentucky.
I love this man.
That means
I can trust him.
Like what? In other words, add numbers so they can get an outcome that they like. She wants to make the District of Columbia a state, Puerto Rico a state, get rid of the filibuster in the Senate. In short, there's not a dime's worth of difference between my opponent and all of the national Democrats that you've watched. If you give them control of the government, that's what they'll do.
So that man is lying to his teeth about whatever's going on, whether you know what political party he is, to see what's going on. But luckily I printed it out because my screen sharing is not working for some reason. But there was a moment during the debate that was really disturbing. Like it was like kind of in the level of when Biden was talking about his son, and then Trump was like, he doesn't know who his dead son was. And then he said that his son was like a drug addict. Mitch McConnell had that moment in this debate for like everyone, for the 210,000 people who died from the pandemic. Kathy brought up the issue about the pandemic and the handling with the president, and he laughs. He chuckles. Imagine that face of that man laughing. I wish I could share the video, but I don't have it. But no, Kentucky saw that, I guess, and they're going out to vote too over the country.
You know what I thought was interesting?
Yeah.
She made a direct claim about words that he used, actual words that he used about letting the people decide who will be in the courts when the election was coming up in 2016. And then he switches his tune in 2020 to, well, we have the people in the court right now. So then that means that we have the right to do this. But you weren't singing that tune 4 years ago. So are you going to keep the same energy, or are you going to be a hypocrite?
Yeah, he's going to be. I feel like he's going to be he's showing what he's showing right now. They're running through a debate with people who should be wearing masks, staying inside, all holed up in a room for hours, trying to get this woman in her seat in the Supreme Court. So this is what Mitch McConnell is doing. So Phil can play this next clip. So just to get update what's going on with voting right now across the country.
At this map, you can see that 20 states are already in their early voting process. And this morning, Kentucky is joining them with early voting starting in Jefferson County. Our community has been working hard to get everything ready. We went around to the 4 polling locations yesterday to see workers put together the finishing touches. And while we were out, we spoke with volunteers who will be spending the next few weeks helping you cast your ballot. 86-year-old Willana Hawkins will be one of them. She says that she enjoys doing her part and refuses to miss this because of the pandemic.
The only way I could not be worried is if I decide to become a hermit and sit in my house by myself, looking at the television and reading. I don't think that's living.
Well, this morning, Rose is live at one of your polling locations, the KFC Yum Center. Rose, what do voters need to know before they head out?
Daniel, first people need to know when they can vote and where they can vote. So with their photo ID, voters can head to one of 4 polling locations throughout Jefferson County starting at 8:30 this morning. And those locations are the Kentucky Fair and Expo Center here at the KFC Yum Center, the Kentucky Center for African American Heritage, and the Louisville Marriott East Hotel. Early voting begins in just a couple hours in these locations and goes until 4:30 p.m. every Monday through Saturday from now until Election Day. And on Election Day, 16 more polling places will open in Jefferson County for early voting. If you're outside of Jefferson, most other counties in our area have one early polling location, and we have a list of those on our website for you. Now, if you still want to vote early but don't want to do it in person, you can vote absentee. But you must have already requested your ballot. The deadline for requesting passed just last week. About 170,000 people in Jefferson County requested those ballots, and you can either mail in your ballot or drop it off at a drop box in person. Now, in Jefferson County, those drop box locations are at the Expo Center, the Yum Center, the Center for African American Heritage, as well as St. Matthew's Community Center or the Election Center on West Ormsby. Now, remember, if you are choosing to mail in your ballot, that has to be postmarked by Election Day, November 3rd, to count. For WHS 11 News, I'm Rose McBride.
Like I said, in Kentucky last night during the debate, they brought up about the pandemic, issued the pandemic, and Mitch McConnell laughed about it and then blamed Nancy Pelosi. So, so Kentucky,
Kentucky is the poorest state in the nation. Blame that on Pelosi too.
So there you go, Kentucky. You can go to the Yum Center. You can go to the Election Center. I would go to the Yum Center.
But do you know why? Do you know why they really want to get? They really wanted to get the Affordable Care Act. They want to get they want to get the Affordable Care Act out of there because people other than Kentuckians also benefit from it.
Yeah.
As long as there are dark-skinned people and other poor people that don't look like them who have a chance of not dying when they go to the hospital, that's unacceptable to them. I mean, if the Affordable Care Act as it stood right now only applied to white people, they wouldn't have a problem with it at all. It would not be an issue.
Yeah, Kentucky is currently facing a backlog of over 75,000 unresolved unemployment claims. One in 4 children in Kentucky lives in poverty. You know, this is where Mitch McConnell has been a politician for how long?
Great leadership, Mr. McConnell.
Yeah, you know. So hopefully this X5 pilot can swoop in and bomb him out of his seat. So people go out there and check it out. I don't know. It's a long shot.
Yeah, from what I hear. In fact, I read an article that this one guy wrote concerning the whole issue with Kentucky and how so many people were throwing huge sums of money into that woman's campaign.
Yeah.
And they were like, stop throwing money into her campaign, because it doesn't matter how much money you put into her campaign.
Yeah.
Kentuckians love it. They love being poor. They love having that guy like sitting there. They love struggling.
Hopefully, someone in the comments is like gaslighting Kentucky.
Yeah, just as long as McConnell can sell them on other people struggling worse than them.
Yeah,
they want things to remain as it is. So you're like, yo, there are other races that are going on that could use the money, where people actually are that are gonna vote on issues in other states where it's really close. So he was like, stop putting money into hers. It doesn't matter how reasonable she is. It doesn't matter how much good that she could do for Kentuckians that McConnell refuses to do. Doesn't matter. They want somebody like him in there because of the things that he believes in. I'm gonna leave it just like that.
They like to watch him talk. I've never seen that man talk before. So, but
that was horrifying.
Yeah, and another guy who I saw talk, I don't watch talking at all, was Lindsey Graham, and he was lying right away during the hearings today. He was saying
he couldn't even turn his mic on. He was already saying,
I stopped watching. I had enough. It was right away. He was saying that how South Carolina has a better healthcare than California. You know, in South Carolina, it's like kind of 8th in the list of like the worst healthcare in the country. And it's like, what are you talking about, bro? So that's Vote Out 2020. Go out there, wait in line, hopefully mail it in, whatever. So it's all about the local, the hyper local, and Biden and whatever you think. So, follow us on Facebook and Twitter and leave your comments. We want to see where you're voting from. We've seen everyone's voting from Washington to New York, everywhere. So check us out.